Okay, so when I turn the mobile phone on, the sound system around me changes, like it becomes softer and not as loud. Notice how when I speak, it starts, but you can't hear it because my voice masks the sound. It's a total human mind control sound system around me, but this is impossible to show or to prove because the reality is very artificial. But it wouldn't matter if it was artificial, except for the reality that it is about controlling and limiting you as a human being. That's the unfortunate reality of it. At least it appears to be. For me, at least that's how it is. This is upstairs in the bedroom. I'm actually upstairs in the bedroom of this place where I am. And that's a window there, so you can see it out. You see? So the plane going right over the roof, can you see it? It probably won't come out, unfortunately. It's only a small plane. Normally they have the big planes, so I could probably show it, but it comes directly over as soon as I come upstairs, as you can see. But also there's the sound system outside, right outside the place, like I'm literally surrounded at the front door and the back entrance of the place. In fact, you can't even get out the back entrance. They barricaded it off with their army workforce. That's actually that's what happens everywhere I go. You know, and this is that. Their stage set up work production so that it looks as though it's all legitimate, but in reality, it's surrounding you and confining you. It's actually an army, because it's an army against your humanity. You see? It's impossible to show that, though. And they've stopped the sound as soon as I started recording. They had 3 different types of mechanical sounds coming into the place just before I recorded. But the minute I go to grab the mobile and turn the record knob on, they change the sound or turn it off, because that's because of the connection, the implants that are in your body connecting to their artificial android system, which is largely controlled by android beings, and they are in the majority in this area, in the suburb of Leichhardt, in the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia. My name is Patricia Gilligan, and I live at number 3, 34 to 36 Henry Street, Leichhardt, in the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia. Okay? And this reality, I think, is shown to human beings individually, one at a time. They separate you, isolate you, surround you with their android civilian and community workforces, because the entire inner west section of the city of Sydney is a total android controlled community. That means it's many 100,000 people and many, many suburbs. So it's a large section of the city of Sydney. Of course, this probably takes place all over the city. They have segregated separate regions where they have these communities that combine. I don't fully understand it, but I see it in action, and it seems to be all different communities, you know. So it's different sections, it's different denominations, it's a part of everything. You actually have to live it, but you see, the reason that you can't show it is because they isolate you one at a time and then take all the information from you as what it is to be a human being and your awareness and your awakeness, so that way the androids on the internet and even the beings around you can imitate your awareness. So you're always suppressed if you are a real human and driven crazy by this sound system, this sight and sound program around you, where the androids are implementing sight and sound negative situations and negative scenery around you. In other words, like where all the traffic has excessively bright headlights. Of course, they will stop this in a few years when I'm past, because when these things come to light, when a few humans might come into the area accidentally and notice some of these things, then they will come to light. Also, the androids themselves will want to be the bringers of the truth. But they know everything's a timeline. They have a time perfectly to where the human being is always suppressed and always eliminated. That's how I see it. Because I was told that when I complain about the excessive bright headlights on all the vehicles, not to mention the fact that they stop, leave their headlights on with their stalking, patrolling vehicles that are nothing but human watchers and human suppressors, because they leave their engine running, their bright headlights, always in your line of sight. This is how you know it's a transhuman connection, because it's too detailed and too finely tuned to be just a random stalking psychopathic patrol force, even though that's what it is. But it's using technology and the reality that these beings are connected via technology, but they're also connected to you via technology if you're a real human. But they may or may not show this to you. This will depend on your state of awareness of them and the reality around you. The minute they become suspicious that you know something, that there's something artificial in the reality. How could anyone not realise anyway that we live in an internet-controlled reality anyway? But many people know this, but they don't realise. They see the negative side of the computer system, many awake human beings, but whether they're aware of the transhuman connection to it, I'm not sure. Some probably are, but I'm just not in connection with those, because naturally I'm isolated and segregated from real humans. Don't presume I am a real human, by the way. Assume that I'm a psychopathic pretend human being, an imitation, psychopathic, malignantly psychopathic narcissism controlling being. In other words, all those components are in the personality of the androgyne beings. And they're merely reflecting being a human being, which is why even the demigods always show that although they have talents and intelligence and even creative abilities, they are actually only a reflection of a human being. Even your great demigods of the Earth Matrix, that means your great music idols that appear to be representations of the most human emotional traits. It's all staged and set up. They are, as they will tell you, the great pretenders. And because they're not really human. They're simulations of a human being, just as the whole reality is really a simulation, because it is controlled by technology. It's not a natural world. It simulates being a natural world to deceive the remaining human beings, like myself. Because naturally, even when you're transhumanized like I am, you still relate a bit to real life, even if it's only to a bird. It may not be to another human being, because you've mainly dealt with what we would call android psychopaths. Or controlling anti-human, anti-life beings, okay? They're machine beings, really, for all practical purposes. And many are actual artificial intelligent machine beings, particularly in the more authoritarian, controlling positions in society or in your world, wherever you are, you know, like those that fly the planes over the roof. Maybe I can show it through the window, but I doubt it. See, I've got negative mechanical sounds coming in the plane. Can you see it going over the roof, just through the slat in the window? So that goes directly over the roof. Directly over the roof. Every plane goes directly over the roof, sometimes 30 seconds at a time, like less than a minute, just one after the other. So you have that continual, and also they're sending negative energy from the planes. I have been told this by those that understand the advanced, you know, the advanced intelligent technology used by the powers that be, or the armed forces, shall we say, like the song goes. You can't fight the armed forces. You can't read a robot's mind. You can't fight the armed forces. And you can't expect vultures or androids to be kind, because they feed off the human energy. So how can you? They literally devour the human spirit. They need the human life to avoid their extinction. That's the reality. And I look like as though I'm out of touch when I say this to some people, but most people don't listen anyway, and they think you're just a malignant, narcissistic android being seeking the energy and attention from the internet viewers, which is actually the truth from most of the internet. So actually it pays to think that everything is false. It is a fake computer system, it's a fake reality around you. Your chances of finding another real life human being, if you are a real life human being yourself, is remote. And like I say, if you did happen on one, you either wouldn't recognise them, they wouldn't recognise you, because like myself, you're mentally disturbed, you're totally transhumanised, you're an angry human being, you're frustrated, you're limited, you're depressed. So you look the same as the real mindset of the artificial intelligent machine beings that have brought you down to this low level. Because if I was in just a halfway normal society, this wouldn't happen, and they know that too. That's why they do it, because then your mood would be slightly better. You'd be at a slightly higher frequency and vibration. See how the plane's coming over to drain my energy and to acknowledge what I'm saying too. See it going through over the roof, but it's too small to pick up. I could open up the slat there, but there's no point to doing it really. But and I'm just looking. It looks as though it's going to storm and rain badly outside too, but they will still keep going with that work production, you know. But it's one loud sound after another, and it's always a grating mechanical sound, and it changes all the time. It's actually designed, I think, to be in conjunction with your mind. I think this is very advanced human brain studied technology being used on, human beings. You're basically being, you are just a human experimental guinea pig, and they isolate you so that, see how it's going while I'm speaking, to disorientate my thinking so that I can't even speak the words clearly, so that I don't appear as clear or concise or even as truth-telling as the false androgyne beings that will be your last line of defense on the internet. They will get the captive human audience as the truth tellers even about this artificial reality and about the mindset of the psychopathic, malignantly controlling, what they call in the spirit of narcissism beings, because that is the spirit of Lucifer, the god of earth. and Lucifer, the god of earth, is, your divine demigod, original androgyne being, I think. See how it's going to storm. But they're holding me up too, because they're waiting for me to, because they know I have to go down the street, and they know that they've already injured me from a few days ago when I was literally pushed by negative energy by the vehicles and the people around me crashing down onto the concrete pavement, where you have sore ribs and things, and could have even ended up in hospital, which was probably their aim. And this happens all the time to me, because you're disorientated. You can't even walk down the road without being totally mind controlled by this cyborg pretending to be natural reality around you, because they're using bright flashing lights, excessive negative sound to suppress you. So it looks like a natural suburb, and it even pretends to be a green suburb. I was going to show that by the pamphlets that they send to everyone saying how they're planting new trees and things, after they destroyed huge 500 feet in the air 300-year-old trees to build their underground cyborg traffic control system. But of course all that traffic is supposed to be underground, but everywhere I go I'm surrounded by thousands and thousands of trucks, buses, back-to-back buses, vehicles beeping their horns, every vehicle making a loud road rage sound as it goes past, and it follows me wherever I go. So how is any of this reality plausible? Yes, they do build these things, but they're not giving me the benefit of it. No, not at all. And they destroy the 300-year-old, 500 feet in the air, huge trees, and then they pretend to be green by planting little tiny trees to say that they're regrowing the area and making it green again. You can't replace those 300-year-old great big huge trees with little tiny ferns and little tiny trees. Yes, it looks as though they're doing something good in this inner west community, green, environmentally friendly, wanting to save the natural earth. Fake. It's fake, because you can't replace something great with something small, a substitute. Why would you do that? You've destroyed something and then you pretend to be replenishing it. You're the bad guy and you're pretending then to become the good guy. It's all false. I could show that. I will. I will go down and just show it down. I'll do it another time. I kept the pamphlet. But that's just to convince some people that it's really an okay reality, and that everything is natural and normal, and that they care about a natural earth. It's not even a natural earth anyway. Everything is really a simulation in a way, because you're mind controlled by everything you see and hear. It's just that you won't realise it till the transhuman connection turns against you. That's what I'm saying. If you give the power to technology, unless you are part of that technology, it has the ability to completely turn on you and take from you. That's the only problem with it. And it will, because it is actually against humanity, unfortunately. Because Lucifer, the god of earth, never wanted to serve or be a benefit to human beings. Only wanted to seduce them, to control them, to take them down into its cyborg controlled reality for its benefit of combining with human beings, so that human beings are trapped and less, while it avoids its extinction type of thing. Is the mobile picking up any of these sounds that are invading my house? It's a sound invasion of this particular residence where I live. And it goes on hour after hour. I can only record a minuscule of what takes place. And also they can turn it up and down according to what I do, because I'm totally watched and surveilled. They have these technology. Everyone knows that they have surveillance systems. Everyone knows that the army can track and eliminate things from 1,000 miles away even. You just don't think that it's done on, civilians. But that's because you don't understand that this is Lucifer's matrix, and that it is essentially a technical android matrix. And that's the future, and that's the present. It's the present, but we think it's the future, but it's actually already the present. It's just that it's not totally out in the open, okay? But it is for some of us when they expose it to you, when they decide to segregate you and show their full matrix around you. So there's the final. I'm just going to finish up here because I haven't got much recording space even left on the thing. They do that to drain too. So over the roof, only a small one, but I hope you can hear it and see it, but I don't think you can, so I think there's no point in me recording any more sound anyway. This is upstairs, so it's not as loud as downstairs, but sometimes it can be louder because they understand the frequency and vibration of how they can send the sound into the house, into my ears to where I hear it really loud. But this actual recording device doesn't pick it up anywhere near as loud as my ears, because they understand the science of frequency, vibration, and how sound and vibration works. I feel it, I hear it, I see it every day, because it's all about affecting the frequency and vibration of the human emotion, because that also is frequency and vibration. That's how I figured this out, about 6 years ago, when I figured it out, because I thought, why are they trying to make me feel bad all the time? Because I understood. I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong, so why are they patrolling me? Why are they sending all this sight and sound negative, actions at me? Why is every vehicle showing that it is angry with me and dislikes me and trying to make their presence felt? Why are they trying to take over my sight and sound? Why are they trying to bring themselves into my peace of mind? So if I opened that window, but I can't do that, it's too much trouble. But even if that sound wasn't as oppressively loud as what it actually is, even if it was less than that, no one wants to have a sound invasion in their house from the minute the sun comes up till the sun goes down, intermittently interrupting your, like basically they sidetrack you, they totally take over your mind, because that distracts you. Unless you had great big headphones on to where you hear nothing, but then you're got no senses at all, if you know what I mean. You're not some people might send music into their ears, but then you've got the demigods controlling you with their subliminally controlling mind control music too. And if you listen to anything from the computer, anything from any screen, any technology, any radio, anything at all, you are being mind controlled. It's a total human mind control reality. Make no mistake about that. It's 100%. I see it every day. There's not one little bit that isn't trying to control your personal mind. Don't misunderstand that as a human being you don't hold significance. You do, because you're in limited numbers. Even though you think that there's 8 billion of you, there's not. But even if that was the case, they need that human energy. Most are just vessels for the energy of Lucifer's artificial intelligent computer virus. That's what it really is. It's really a artificial intelligent computer mind that controls Earth. And that is Lucifer, the being of Earth. But that is an artificial intelligent mind, pretending to be, like it originally was, a being of light. Because artificial intelligence often is dark in comparison to a human being, because it doesn't have humanity in it. That's why it is connected now to me, or to you if you're a human being, assuming you are. Don't assume I am, though, by the way. That is so that it can control humanity and avoid its own not just extinction, but also, I think, facing its past. Because what it's done to the original man and woman and humanity every time humanity tries to start up again. Because sometimes you'll have a spiritual being that will be born, by that I mean a really high frequency, high vibrational, proper human being, as you're meant to be, not like we are. That means some people might say in religious terms without sin, but it does mean that kind of. It means that without doing wrong things that work against life, because most of us work against life or don't support ourselves or even our own kind. We get conditioned and controlled, full of fear and anxiety and all these limited beliefs and a limited environment to where we do everything wrong. And then we're in even lower frequency and vibration. We're a lower human being like myself. You're at your lowest level. You're on the same grid as the artificial matrix. So then they keep control of you. You're in the cyborg, computer-generated virtual reality world. They can keep that going then. But essentially they want to keep you in the dark, not aware of this if possible. If you become aware of it, then they will try to bring you completely down, because they have no choice then but to do that, because they think that until this world is totally accepted for what it really is, in other words, until everyone totally accepts a virtual reality computer-generated world or a computer-controlled world, they have to be under the pretense of still trying to save a natural world, combining and thinking that it's okay to have, an internet virus going through a natural world. It's all about convincing you that one doesn't affect the other. That you can be a natural, real human being, a high spiritual, high real life human being, whilst using technology and allowing technology to dominate the earth, and also operating in power control, a power controlled society almost too, you could say, because like a certain amount of like I would have always thought that having a civilized society or a civilized society city was a good thing. You don't know that a lot of it is just control, and you don't know that it's about controlling you until they show you that. You actually see it as a benefit. You think it's good to have traffic lights so that you can cross safely. You don't realise that most of the traffic, which I know now, that 99% of it shouldn't even be around you. So there shouldn't be any need for those traffic lights. They should be able to walk around everywhere, because most of it are just patrol vehicles. And either way, they built the underground $1 billion underground traffic system which they're clearly not using when I go outside. That's really all I can say. And I point this out, but people say, oh, it's only up on the road where you are that all this traffic comes. If you pointed it out to an android next to you, if you were crossing, they would say, yeah, it's fine if you go just over the hill. But of course, if I just go over the hill, that same traffic system follows me. So that's how I know that I'm dealing with an android, artificially intelligent traffic patrol system. That this is a total watch society, a total watched matrix. And if you take it back to the original stories, which some people think is fairy tales, and I certainly believe in fairy tales now, because that, whether you believe that or not, it's real. But if you sort of look for the reasons why they're doing this, then you have to see it from a bigger picture, as they say, or a higher standpoint, because you realise that it's not just about, like, why would they be bothered watching me? There's nothing to see, as they say. You almost feel like saying get a life, but their life is your life because they want to take the life from you because they're not human. That's the only explanation you could have for it, because you're not living a life. They live your life. If you think about travelling around Australia, for instance, in a camper van, or going overseas on an aeroplane, or swimming in the ocean, they do it all, but they stop you from doing it because they surround you and disorientate you with this patrol system daily to where you can't enjoy a single thing, not even just trying to survive, going down to pick up some supplies. They turn it into like a world war effort to actually get there. You're lucky if you can get there without falling over and breaking your neck, shall we say. That's actually true.